You get an email. It's from a recruiter at a well-known company. They're offering you an interview for a role that you applied for, so you get super excited. And then you realize that you just gave a scammer all of your personal information. Unfortunately, this is happening to a lot of job seekers at the moment, and it's getting much harder to spot these scams because they're incredibly convincing. I'm Danielle Bradley. I'm a career coach for mid-career professionals, and unfortunately, I am seeing more and more really smart professionals fall for these scams. And today I'm going to show you the top 5 warning signs so that you can spot these scams for yourself. Have you ever encountered a job scam? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. When you're in a job search, especially if you've been looking for a little while, you're sometimes really vulnerable, and scammers know this. Here's what makes it so dangerous. These scams are getting really good. They're using real company names. They're copying real job postings. They're sending emails that look exactly like they're coming from real recruiters. Some are even conducting fake Zoom interviews with professional backgrounds. They end up asking you for your personal information, or even asking you to pay for background checks, or even making you a fake job offer in order for you to pay for some materials before you start, like a laptop or some other materials, and claiming that they will reimburse you after you start. This is happening every day. So let me show you what to look for. Warning sign number 1, they contact you out of nowhere with a generic message. This can look like you're receiving a text, an email, or a message on LinkedIn, and they want to interview you for a role that you never applied for. And the message is generic. Now, of course, legitimate recruiters do contact people via LinkedIn because that is part of the hidden job market that I talk about all the time. But here's the difference. A legitimate recruiter will not send you a generic message. They'll mention something specific in their message. It will demonstrate that they took a look at your LinkedIn profile. It'll say something, for example, as I saw your marketing operations experience at such and such a company, and I think you'd be a great fit for this role. Now, a scammer's message will seem more generic. We took a look at your resume and your profile, and we think you'd be a great fit for this role at Google. No details, nothing specific about your background, but they'll lean into something that will hook you in and get you excited. So if someone contacts you with a generic message like this, be careful before you click any links and before you respond. Do some research. I had a client recently who got an email like this, and it looked like it was coming from Meta. Naturally, she was very excited and was all set to apply and pursue the position. However, when she mentioned it to me, something didn't sit right. I took a look at the email and then scrutinized the email address that it came from, and it did include Facebook or Meta in the email. However, there was a structure to it and a slight difference to the type of email that would come legitimately from Meta. We were able to research that and clearly identify that this was a scam. Warning sign number 2 is the email address doesn't match the company domain. This can be one of the easiest ones to spot. For example, if someone says they're a recruiter at Amazon and their email address is a Gmail or a Yahoo, well, that's a no-brainer. Obviously, this is a scammer. It should be from Amazon.com. Something could be like name at Microsoft-recruiting.com instead of their name at Microsoft.com. Always double check the sender's email address, and if it doesn't check out, do not respond. And if you're not sure what the official domain name should be, then take a look at the company's website and check it out. Warning sign number 3 is they ask for personal information too early in the process. Legitimate companies will eventually ask you for your personal information, of course, but that tends to happen either when they make the offer or after they make the offer, usually after. It's not going to be something they ask for in an initial email or even a screening interview. If someone is asking for your social security number or your social insurance number, your driver's license, your banking information really early on in the recruiting process, it's a scam. We've even seen ones that ask for this information saying they need to process your information, process your application, or running a background check. Don't fall for it. Warning sign number 4 is they ask you to pay for something. This is the easiest one to spot, but unfortunately, people still fall for it. These folks are very convincing. But if you get asked for money as part of the hiring process, it's a scam. I spoke with someone recently who fell for this and was a super smart individual. They were very convincing. They made an offer. The person accepted the offer, and then they simply stated, oh, by the way, we just need you to pay for your laptop and then we will reimburse you within a week or 2. It turned out to be a complete scam. Warning sign number 5 is the offer comes too fast or it seems too good to be true. This can look like you get an email or a phone call, and very quickly you end up with a job offer with amazing salary, fully remote, and all the benefits. It sounds perfect, and it's likely too good to be true. If someone is offering you a job offer quickly without a lot of vetting, it's probably a scam. Scammers are really good at creating urgency. They want you to say yes quickly before you have time to do your research. If this is happening, you want to slow it down and make sure that you are given the opportunity to do your research before you're in too deep. Now, I don't want to scare you, but I do have an example of a client who went through a pretty strenuous interview process with the company. He was in a current role, and on the surface, it looked legitimate. He interviewed with real people, a number of different people, through a process that looked quite legitimate. And he did receive an offer that was really good, very good compensation package. He had checked people out on LinkedIn, and he was just about to resign from his position. He explained the situation to me, and something just didn't sit quite right. There was something with their LinkedIn profile and the information about the company on LinkedIn and online that just didn't feel complete. My gut instinct kicked in, and I recommended to my client that he have an attorney review the job offer before accepting it. He did, and the attorney came back and said it was a scam. So you definitely need to listen to your gut in these situations. So how do you even protect yourself from all of this? First, you always verify the person who's contacting you, the recruiter, the company, and do some in-depth research if it sounds too good to be true. Then trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Third, never give out personal information too early. And never ever pay for anything as part of a job application, or even once you have started with the company. They should be providing you with the tools that you need for the job. I want to share another client story with you because this one was very, very convincing. She received 2 separate emails that looked like they were coming from 2 different companies. Now, what she wondered about is that they contacted her via her email at her current company. She wasn't sure how they would have gotten that email from. She wasn't using that email through LinkedIn, for instance. So she had reviewed the email, and then she went to the link that wasn't in the email, and the link brought her to what looked like the careers page for 2 really well-known companies, and the job postings were posted there. It looked 100% legitimate. I'm actually going to show you the email as well. Now, I'm not going to click on that link because who knows what's going to be there now, but my client did click on the email, and when she did, it looked 100% like the company's website, like an active job posting that they had, that she went on Google basically and pulled it up, and it looked exactly the same. But there was a very tiny difference in the URL that was used. So they basically replicated and spoofed that domain and those job postings that she almost applied to. So if something's not quite making sense, it's not quite sitting right, question it and do your research, and even consult with a friend or a mentor if you're really not sure. Job searching is hard enough without worrying about scammers for sure. But unfortunately, they're out there, they're getting more sophisticated. So please, I urge you, protect yourself, be careful, do your research, and don't let excitement cloud your judgment. And make sure to share this video with anyone that you know who's looking for a job right now. The more people know about these scams, the fewer victims there will be. And if you want some personalized support with your job search, working with a career coach can be invaluable. I invite you to book a call with me, and there's a link below this video for you to do that. Stay safe out there.